Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Buzzer Live, and I am going to be talking about What If, the latest episode of the What If Marvel's What If, um, on Disney Plus, episode 5, the Zombies episode. I'm going to be talking about this one only because this was one of the most anticipated episodes of the series. This was, people had been wanting to see this episode back when the series was announced and that they were going to do this episode. So um, I'm going to talk about it. It wasn't the original video I planned on doing today. I was going to do it about Venom, the release date moving, but this very hot topic. I just got done watching the episode. Um, so that way I was caught up on it and everything. But so yes, we're going to talk about what I basically think of the excuse me, what I think of the episode and everything, and we'll have a discussion about it. So anybody who's coming in, by all means, just leave the comments in the comment box, so that way we can discuss the show. Send any super chats you guys like. That would be very much appreciated. Also, hit the like button for that, and if you're not subscribed, by all means, subscribe to the channel. So Episode 5, Zombies. Now, the What If series, I wasn't really looking forward to it to begin with, only because of the fact of, I love when I get fantasy things when I'm trying to stream. But anyway, I wasn't really looking forward to the series to begin with because of the fact of it was animation. And I wasn't really big into animation to begin with, so, but I'd watched the He-Man, Revelations, got into it, and then, got into and decided to keep watching and getting into the what ifs. First episode wasn't a big fan of. It was all right. Animation's clean, but it was a rehash of the Captain America. Never still watched the second episode. And because by the time I was getting ready to watch it, the third one came out, and that one looked more interesting, so I watched the third one. Watched Doctor Strange's episode last week. Doctor Strange episode I really did like. It seems like from 3 on. Again, I haven't watched 2, but it seems like every episode has gotten better. 3 was great. I like 3, and then 4. You know, wow, damn! I love it when chest is not wanting to cooperate with me. 4 with the Doctor Strange was actually a great episode as well. And then we get the Zombies episode. And I'm a horror fan, so when I watched this episode, it was like I wasn't watching it as an animation. To me, it was like I was watching this, and when I'm watching it, I feel like I'm watching the live action version of it, and it's just a zombie take on it. And I love the fact that they played it like a zombie movie too, where these guys were basically just like any zombie movie you have, where you're going through with a group one by one, they're dying and everything. And I like a lot of things about this episode. I like the fact that it started like Infinity War. Oh, by the way, there will be spoilers in case you guys haven't watched it. Go ahead and let you know now. There was spoiler warning. Um, but I like the fact that it started off in like Infinity War. And just he landed basically in the apocalypse. And now all the heroes are zombies, and I like the fact that they could still use their powers and everything. And then one by one, each character got taken out. It was great. There was a few nitpicks I think I had with the episode, because some things didn't add up and make sense. Because actually, Andrew actually kind of did bring one light up here before the stream. So Janet Van Dyne caused the outbreak. How can there be a zombie virus in the quantum realm? Well, that's true. How you never know how that could end up happening, but that's why this is a what if story, and it's more like a one off and everything, where she contracted something there, which would have made it where, yeah, I can understand where maybe she would have been still there, and as a zombie, she's dead, and then she brings it back, and they bring it back, and all just like any other zombie movie and everything. Then, but I'm all right with that. But it's like, okay, so Thanos showed up. I'm assuming Thanos showed up because he shows up at the end of this episode where he's got the gauntlet and he's got the gems, but he's a zombie now. The only thing I can explain on that is he came to Earth to get the final gems, but he got attacked and got bit and got transformed. But he doesn't have all the fucking Infinity Stones because Peter has the Soul Stone, not Soul Stone, Mind Stone, Vision's Mind Stone. So he's after that one because he did show he got all the other stones. Oh no, he didn't ever get Doctor Strange's either. So he's there to get the Time Stone too. So I mean, it there's a lot of different things I guess you could look at it as, but I actually, like I said, I enjoyed the episode. I looked at it as it's definitely the best of the series. I like this episode. But they're like the only thing that bothers me is these what ifs. They don't matter. As of right now, they don't matter. They had said that they were going to be interconnected, but yet I've yet to see anything interconnecting these. These are more one-offs than anything. Andrew says, I do have one nitpick of the episode. The Avengers got taken out too easily. I wanted them part of Hulk's for the cure. Iron Man could have easily flew higher up and started shooting them. And see, and it never explained like how, some of the other Avengers died and everything, but I mean they don't really have all that kind of time to tell that. But I did like the fact that like little Ant-Man bit Captain America. That's how he of course becomes a one. Wolverine Gaming, yo, what's up? What's up, man? How's it going? Shang-Chi was great. Yes, it was. Shang-Chi was a great movie. Was definitely a good movie. I still got to figure out when I'm going to do my ranking on that. Oh, excuse me. I'm still also debating. Do I want to wait till Eternals and Spider-Man before I do an updated MCU ranking, or do I want to go ahead and put them in? So, still deciding that. I've already basically got my video the idea of what I'm going to have on Friday, so won't be this week, guys. But as you're coming in, by all means, send in super chats, regular chats, any discussion you guys want to do. Hit the like button so that way we can talk about everything here, guys. Wolverine Gaming says I would have to say better than Black Widow. I feel like I gotta watch Black Widow again. I really do. Black Widow I liked. Of course, I really liked Florence Pugh. I think she stole the show. I liked the beginning of Taskmaster in that movie, so therefore, before the reveal, I like Taskmaster before the reveal, basically. But I think Shang-Chi's better than Black Widow. But I have to. I gotta write them all down, and then how I rank is always by my rewatchability. How many more times am I always going to want to watch this movie when I see it on TV, or want to choose one of the movies and everything? Which ones do I choose more? I know I've done recently. I mean, top 5 or 4 to 5 Avenger movies, of course, are in there. So you already know what mostly my top 5 was. So we'll have to see. But this episode of What If, I mean, like I said, I'm a big horror fan, so therefore to have zombies in this episode, and the fact that Disney didn't hold back. They didn't hold back, man. I mean, they were fucking leveling these fucking zombies and splitting them in half, cutting off their heads, but I guess, because of the fact that maybe it was animated, so I don't know. Ryan says, "Sup, my guy? Just tuning in. Hey, Ryan, how's it going, man? Nice to see you back in here. Wolverine, and I love Black Widow. Oh, so you like Black Widow, but yet you still, you prefer Shang-Chi, which is perfectly fine. There ain't nothing wrong with that." Ryan says, "How was the episode for today for y'all?" Again, like I said, it was great. I liked the episode. It was really good. Each What If episode is getting better. It's still, if it wouldn't have been for the fact that everybody's kind of talking about it, and on YouTube, and I've seen it on my Facebook and everything as well. If it wasn't for the fact that everybody's talking about it, I probably still would be waiting to watch it because I just haven't been so enthused. Like it hasn't been like WandaVision, Loki, or Falcon Winter Soldier, where I have to watch it the day it drops. I want to watch it to know what's going on with it. what ifs have not been like that for me. Like I said, I've still yet to watch episode 2. I've watched 1, 3, 4, and 5. So that's just, I don't know. That's just kind of how I am. I like this episode. So it just depends on the episode. This one was a zombie episode, so it kind of made me more wanted to watch it because it's the most anticipated one of them all. Wolverine Gaming says Florence was amazing. She was my favorite. Yes, she's definitely the very best part of that fucking movie. She is my celebrity crush. Oh man, I've had a lot of them over my time, dude. I understand. Ryan says I think that what they are doing for what ifs is equivalent to the one shots they used to do back in phase 1. That's possible. That is very true. That could be ended up what they do. But I had heard that this was supposed to interconnect with the actual MCU. That it was going to be canon. Because there's been it hasn't I can't remember if it was confirmed that Haley Atwell, who plays um, Captain Carter. She's going to play Captain Carter in Doctor Strange too. So, but I don't think it's going to be a huge role. I think it's going to be just part of the multiverse that they're going through, and she's just going to be added in, as one of the multiverses that they go through because they're already trying to they're bringing in one of the Fox's X-Men to this. They wanted Hugh Jackman, but he turned down. So I think that's the reason why they're looking at Professor Xavier with the James McAvoy or Patrick Stewart. That they're going to be fighting Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet Witch in this movie. So, and the thing is, if you watch the preview for What If, you see some of these characters that have already been in, and they're together in a different episode. So I'm wondering if by the end, we're getting all these one-offs right now, but by the time this wraps up, if they all can interconnect. I'm wondering. And I think they will, and I think that's where it branches off into more of the multiverse of madness. Wolverine Games says, yeah, I need to get caught up on the What If. It just, like I said, for me, I'm not a big animation fan, so it's hard for me to watch or hard for me to get into any animation. I watched the He-Man Revelation because I was a big He-Man fan. I wanted to give it a go, see what it was about. Liked it. This right here, it's because it's Marvel, and it's supposed to be canon, is the main reason why I'm really watching it. And I did like the What If comic books back in the day. I only got the Spider-Man ones though back in the day, and then the ones I got were not even that big deals, I guess, because it was just like, what if he had married Black Cat instead of Mary Jane? What if he would have kept his cosmic powers and stuff like that? Those are the ones I had. So, but they weren't big issues, and they weren't really, big deal, I guess. So it's kind of, I don't know. Ryan says Marvel just getting first impression of the What If episodes, or idea of what Marvel preparing to do down the line, so they know what works and what doesn't work. And that's the thing, because what they do is they view people like like myself and Robert and some of us other YouTubers and stuff like that. They want to see what the reviews are on What If, what other opinions and ideas that they can kind of branch off of from their first outing. That's probably the reason why a lot of these are rehashes of stories that they've already told, and just with different characters. Hence, the first 2 episodes, especially, that was exactly how those work. Those were just rehashes. Even the Doctor Strange episode was it was a rehash of Doctor Strange movie. Just instead of him losing his hands, he lost his heart, and what happened in that. The third episode and this episode were just like totally 2 different stories. They had some piece of what the movie was, and then it just totally went a totally different direction. But it wasn't about a character in a switch or anything like that. So I know they're just testing the waters on it, and then of course season 2, they got the Fox properties and everything as well, so they can bring in anything they fucking wanted. We can have the X-Men, Daredevil, Ghost Rider, any of that shit in the second one. So I'm kind of curious to see how that all plays out. Ryan says, just like Marvel using B plus C plus characters that no one did care about before, phases are made. Movie goes about them since Marvel made those characters big. Yeah, basically. Now, anything big, I don't think we're going to see in What If, only because of the fact of anything big that they're going to save that for if they have an idea of what they want to do for movies down the line. So I don't know if we're going to see any. Me personally, they have an opportunity to bring in like X-Men, Daredevil, stuff like that, but I don't think we're going to see it only because of the fact that they already got those planned where they're wanting to introduce them in the big time. Andrew says that was a good Tom Holland impression of that Spider-Man. Yes, he actually did a great job. And one of the big things I remember I heard in this episode, they mentioned Uncle Ben. I was like, he mentioned Uncle Ben. Granted, it was right before Stark, but basically, everybody he lost and everything, and but at least Uncle Ben was mentioned. So if this ends up becoming canon, there you go. We got an Uncle Ben mentioned finally in the MCU. Ron says same thing. I think they can go for X-Men. They don't need those given character Wolverine, Cyclops, etc. They can use yeah, okay, I got you now. They can definitely use like the other ones, other characters, lesser known X-Men and stuff. Yeah, they definitely can do that. But I could also see them even trying to sneak in a Wolverine somewhere and get people talking. Definitely. Andrew says, even though I'm an MCU fan, I hate zombie stuff. Scares me, but this was cool. Oh man, I'm sorry, Andrew. Um, I'm a big horror guy. I've been a horror guy ever since I was probably 4 years old when I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, um, the original one. So I've always been a horror guy, and love zombies, love zombie movies. Dawn of the Dead, the remake, Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite ones of all time. Um, even though I do see problems in it now, but I mean it's still a great movie. And I as much crap as people, I actually, again, big zombie. I like zombie movies. I like only the first Resident Evil movie. And even though the CGI that's in that movie just does not hold up, a lot of things in that movie does not hold up. Actually, I want to fucking watch it. Well, I probably will actually because here in October, every October I watch every day. I do like the 30 Nights of Halloween. I watch a horror, scary, um, supernatural, or Halloween related movie every night in October. So I'll probably be talking about that a little bit as we get closer to it. So Resident Evil probably will be in that when I actually get there. Andrew says, "Oh, hold on, I missed one there for me." Since this was during Infinity War, I was surprised Hulk actually came out. I think it's because I think he came out only because of the fact that he knew he got bit, and he'd be dead. So it's probably the reason why. I was happy they finally mentioned Uncle Ben, even though I was happy they finally mentioned Uncle Ben, even though it's not the main timeline version of Peter. That is true, but at least, like I said, if they end up making this canon, there we go. We finally got it. Wolfgang says Marvel does a great job on making D or C characters into B characters, but we need some A plus characters introduced. Give me a second. And they're getting there. They're getting there because we know the X-Men's coming. We know Fantastic Four's coming. These are characters that are coming to the MCU, and they will be more than likely the forefront of the franchise going forward. As time is starting to go on, X-Men. I got a feeling, even though they got the Avengers, I got a feeling it's going to shift. I really do. I think it's going to shift to the X-Men more, and they're going to be the team that you're always going to see. But it's just going to take it's going to take time, I think, to get there. I think we are going to get the Avengers versus the X-Men movie, like we did in the comics. We went in getting that storyline played out because they love touching on all those big storylines that were in the books. So they're coming. Those A ones are coming. So it's okay to give some love to those D and C and D characters. I noticed Steve and Tony were working together even though Civil War happened and Steve didn't have his beard look from Wakanda. Um, Again, it's a different timeline, and it's probably because of the whole zombie outbreak that came down. They knew they had to work together at this point. So that's probably a reason why. Ryan says we don't need Wolverine right now because if you do, then that I can't read today. Because if you do that, then no one will care about the other X-Men characters. So you see that now, since Logan everywhere wants to have Hugh Jackman back and doesn't care about the X-Men. And that's true. Wolverine has always been the overpopulated X-Men character. A lot of people like him, and he's always going to be that. He's always going to be the Batman of the X-Men, basically. He is always going to be the forefront. I personally would like them to, when they introduce the X-Men, to actually introduce the X-Men. In fact, I love it if they just introduced the main ones that were there at the beginning, which was what? Cyclops, Jean, Beast, and Iceman. I think that was an Angel. Okay, give me those 5. There's my 5 X-Men, and maybe hint at maybe Wolverine being a villain at first. I wouldn't oppose to that. I wouldn't be opposed to that, and I would also wouldn't mind seeing the Wolverine versus Hulk fight. Because that's one of his first appearances. So, that could be a way to actually. To me, that would be a way to introduce fucking Wolverine, is him fight the Hulk, just like it was in the books. I think that would be very neat and cool to see and see how he gets introduced. But don't focus on Wolverine. That's what I don't want. The original X-Men movies, they are basically just Wolverine movies. They focus too much on them. In the first class movies, we didn't have that so much. They didn't focus on Wolverine. Even though Days of Future Past kind of does have him forefront. But still, that was one. It's one of the best ones there is of the X-Men movies. But it still was more about Magneto and Professor X and Mystique. And that's another one I don't want fucking forefronted is Mystique. I don't want her forefronted in another X-Men movie. Good God, no, please. Andrew says, so Vision had a zombie Wanda and T'Challa to him for love. Wow. Yeah, that's what happened in this episode, man. I didn't like the Vision shit. Because he's supposed to be kind of like, he's supposed to be more intellectual, and this was a character that was wanting to sacrifice himself. Even with Wanda there and loving Wanda and everything, he was going to sacrifice himself in Infinity War for the greater good. But he couldn't do that. He couldn't try a different way and take out Wanda just because he loved Wanda. He didn't think about the greater good at the time. And so he's just going to feed people to her. Now, I didn't mind how Wanda reminded me of when I seen her in this. Was I was like, man, well, one, she kind of reminded me of the fucking witch from Left 4 Dead. Like, especially like you woke her. You woke her up. Basically, don't wake the witch up. Don't wake the witch up. That's kind of what it reminded me of a little bit. But it was cool. I did want to I would have loved to have seen more of that fight of Wanda and Hulk, though. Let's see who would have won that. But Ryan, I know you said Deadpool and Venom 2 won't be rated R. But Hulk versus Wolverine has got to be R rated because look at the animated movie. Yes, it was PG-13, but could have been R. Again, like you, Ryan, but it does not need to be rated R, man. I don't even see how it could be rated R. In fact, one, I never even watched that cartoon, so I don't even know. But they could do. They could. I still feel they could do it. I still feel they could do PG-13. They don't have Wolverine does not have to be R rated. Just like Deadpool doesn't. So, Andrew says Scott as a severed head was funny. It was, and the fact that he kept saying the fucking zombie joke puns and shit like that, that was silly. But I didn't like I kind of didn't like the head part of Scott. That just and that part of it didn't also resonate with me. Like I said, there was parts about this episode, even though I think the episode was overall great, there were still parts of the episode I was not a big fan of. Red Super says, I think I've heard Kevin Feige said that the X-Men stuff starting off, they're going to be called mutants till they team up, and that's when they'll be called the X-Men. And more than likely, that's probably true. They're going to probably get, I think, introduced in Multiverse of Madness. That's where mutants will finally show up, and then that's how they're going to work the X-Men in. But I've got a feeling they're going to work them in slowly. I still wish they would bring Storm into Black Widow, but if I wish they would, even if um the sister becomes Black Widow. I still think that they should bring her in that movie, and then of course Namor. God, I can't say it tonight. Namor is supposed to be the villain in that movie. I still haven't got any confirmation on that. So I don't know. It's a good way to introduce them. You introduce the mutants in that movie, and then of course in Wakanda and Black Panther 2 that comes out next summer, you continue that story. So Andrew, I was surprised the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp caused the outbreak leading into Infinity War. Hey, I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp does take place right before it, and it's just basically them going to find that, and, find the mom, and she brings it back. I mean, so it's what if? What if this happened? Ryan says, I thought when Hulk versus Thor in Avengers was a little weak because it was so short. That was one of the cool fights. I remember when I watched that in the first Avengers, that was like, oh, okay. Because I remember, Thor, fighting Hulk. But we got a little bit more of it in Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok kind of made up for that. And then we got the Thor versus Hulk. But the only problem is he didn't have his hammer at the time. Ryan says, I don't think that Marvel can run with the mutant name because of Fox has the rights to the mutants name. Disney owns Fox, dude. Yep. Disney owns Fox. Disney can do whatever the fuck they want with the mutants and X-Men now. So that's pretty much that's already set in stone. Because we're gonna get that's the reason why we're getting X-Men and Fantastic Four and Ghost Rider. All that was Fox properties that are now Disney properties because Disney bought Fox. So we're going to get them. We're going to get mutants. We're going to get X-Men. So I do appreciate everybody coming in, sending in chats. I do appreciate those. If you guys want to send in super chats, by all means, please. Helps out the channel. Hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, also subscribe to the channel, guys. If you're catching this video later after I have live stream, by all means, leave a comment, and I'll comment right back and discuss it with you as well. Ryan says, "Oh, okay. Didn't know that was a done deal. Oh yeah, that's been done. That's the reason why you can watch like the X-Men movies and the the Fantastic Four movies and stuff on Disney Plus because they own the rights. When they bought Fox, they got all that. Yeah, done deal, done deal. All right, and Ron says I remember because Marvel had to wait after X-Men Apocalypse and X-Men Days of Future Past. And see, that was the reason why Dark Phoenix got pushed back. And they kind of, when they brought that out, that was just basically, that was Disney dumping the last of the Fox movies. That's why Dark Phoenix did horrible at the box office because, one, nobody fucking cared anymore. They knew, why am I going to go watch this movie when I know the franchise is done? The franchise is over after this movie. There will not be any more X-Men movies with these characters after this. So, because they knew they would be rebooted in the MCU. So that's the reason why they were like, they dumped it. It bombed. And I mean, to be honest, I've only watched Dark Phoenix, I think, once. I think I've only watched that movie one time. It wasn't the fact that it was a bad movie. It's just, it wasn't, I don't know. I just don't, again, I think I'm like that. Why watch it? It's the end of that series, but then again, it's a movie. Because I watch movies that don't have any continuations anyway. So, I didn't actually even think X-Men Apocalypse, there's a lot fucking wrong with that fucking movie. But part of it is watchable. Part of it. Not much, but part of it. Days of Future Past is definitely by far the fucking superior film. I watched that in first class over it. Those the latter. So, but yep. And then, damn, sorry. And then yeah, we're gonna get Fantastic Four here soon. We're gonna get Blade here soon. So I'm kind of curious. I'm very curious to see how they do Blade. I really am. Because with the vampires and everything, but I think we'll get a little glimpse of it with Morbius. Basically, I know Morbius is by Sony and not MCU related, but I'm kind of curious on how they are going to do the whole sucking blood thing and everything with Morbius and keep it PG-13 because it's going to be PG-13 too. It ain't going to be rated R. Ryan says, "Oh hey Ninjoid, how's it going, sir?" Ryan says, "X-Men: Days of Future Past, my favorite X-Men movie of all time." It is. It is. I think it's mine too. I did my rankings on it, and I think I did put it at number one. It was right up there with Deadpool. As far as mutant X-Men type movies, because I consider the Deadpool movies X-Men movies. So, but as far as like the main X-Men movies, which is the 7 of them, is definitely by far my favorite one. X-Men X2 was my X-Men United was probably my second one because there was a lot of good things in that one. Ryan says Blade probably going to show up in the end credits in Morbius. I don't think so. I don't think Blade's going to be in that only because that's Sony. Sony owns Morbius, and Blade is part of the MCU, so I don't think Blade's going to be in that. It'd be a great surprise, but I don't think it's going to happen only because of the studios for that. If anything, Blade will show up in Multiverse of Madness. They did say that they were going to pay homage to the original Blade and I think they're going to bring Wesley Snipes back to at least have a cameo in that movie. So, it's supposed to be a movie. So, definitely looking forward to that. By the way, guys, I'm going to throw in the 10-minute warning. I am actually really, really, really tired. I can tell by looking at my video, I can see that I'm sleepy as fuck, and I'm feeling it too. So 10 minutes, guys. I'm going to head out. Of course, super chats will keep me here a little longer. And I'll go over those more in detail to see who anybody wants the MVP for tonight. But yeah, 10 minutes, guys, and then just send in your chats and I'll continue discussing with you guys. No problem. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Ryan says, if you were stuck on an island, and you had to choose between X-Men Origins Wolverine or X-Men Apocalypse. Hmm. God, you know what? You know what's sad? I remember when X-Men Origins Wolverine came out. I liked that movie. Now I look back now, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? I would actually. I'm gonna pick it. I'm gonna pick Apocalypse. I'm gonna pick Apocalypse. I like that movie a lot better than X-Men Origins Wolverine. Um, there's just so much wrong with fucking that Origins movie. Oh my god! I mean, just the comedy in it would fucking suck. Everything they did with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, I cannot fucking stand. The only thing I liked about X-Men Origins Wolverine was Liam Schreiber as Sabretooth. He is the only thing I liked about it. And I wish they would have brought him back in Logan. He should have been the one that, instead of the clone Logan in that movie, it should have been Liam Schreiber's Sabretooth. That would have been a great finish to their storyline and everything. I wish they would have done that, but they didn't. You know, that was a missed opportunity, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Oh my god, I haven't watched that movie. I think that's the only X-Men movie I don't have on my Vudu right now either, too. Um, yeah, I think it is the only one I don't have. Ryan says, when I saw the online version the first time it wasn't done at all, it was like the leaked version of Spider-Man Far From Home, unfinished trailer that was showed. Oh, so you watched um the leaked version of the movie when it came out. See, I actually went in theater and seen it and everything, and I at the time I thought it was a good movie, and then I look back now and I'm like, why did I think that was a fucking good movie? But also, I think the same fucking year, yeah, the same year was Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, and I thought that was an alright movie, and I'm like, what the. See, that's why, opinions change, and I don't now. I'm a different person than I was then. I actually sit and I think about the movie after I watched it instead of just like, wow, I like this. You know, I sit and think about them a lot more than I used to. And yeah, because yeah, it was fucking, both of those fucking movies are awful. I mean, I can put on like the Transformers one, and basically I had to shut my fucking brain off. It ain't Batman and Robin fucking bad or Spider-Man 3 bad, but you know. Red Supra, have you heard the MCU got to direct the new Blade movie? Masman Tarek is his name. The way they did Deadpool X-Men Origins is the only thing I don't like about that movie. There's a lot of things about that movie I don't like. One, the CGI claws were fucking horrendous in that fucking movie. Yeah. I mean, some of the storyline, I guess, was all right in that, but yeah, it's mostly. I agree, Red Super. It's when I think back, mostly what I hate about that movie is the Deadpool shit. What they did with Deadpool in that movie, and it's a turn off for me because Deadpool. I like Deadpool, and they wasted a huge opportunity with Ryan Reynolds, and that's the reason why we got the Deadpools that we have now. We actually got the Deadpools that we deserved. So Ryan says, as a kid in 1997, looking at Batman and Robin, I thought it was good, but now it's a comedy. Dude, I remember in 1997, I thought that movie was fucking garbage. And I was, oh, it was so horrible. And I can't get past the beginning of that movie. I really can't. It is so fucking hard. And I feel like I'm probably have to drink every time I watch that movie. Because the first line of the movie, I want a car. Chicks dig the car. This is why Superman works alone. Nope. Click. Bye. Nope. Nope. Absolutely not. Can't do it. I can't even start with that movie. And then of course I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, but all the ice puns, like really, the ice was rubber. You could see the rubber when it flapped. The only thing that is even okay about that movie is Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. Not her lines, just her. She looks beautiful. I like her. And Alicia Silverstone. That's it. That's the only things I like about that fucking movie. Ryan says, "What killed the?" See, there's the worst ice puns. I mean, Ryan says, "I'll cancel the pizza." The fact that you remember, I mean, I can understand remembering the Arnold line, but I'll cancel the pizza line. That was gonna, uh, yeah, that's definitely the worst, to me, the worst superhero movie we have ever got. That's actually maybe a ranking video I can do. Let me know if you guys want to see that one. Worst superhero movies. Top 10 worst superhero movies. I might end up doing that one. Now you know what would probably be number one, but I mean I'd have to look up the whole fucking, there's a lot of fucking superhero movies now. Back in the day it wasn't so many, but now, man, that would be so fucking many to choose from. And I'd have to put in there ones that I just can't stand to watch. Not just, I'm not talking about I'm not going to probably put in there like the Dolph Lundgren and Punisher, or like the Captain America came out back in the 80s or early 90s. I probably won't put those in there. But like main franchise, worst ones. Like, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and X-Men Last Stand, and Spider-Man 3, Superman 3, 4, stuff like that. But let me know if you guys want to see that. Ryan says, when Batman and Robin surfboarding in the air. Oh, Jesus Christ. Everything about that movie, man. Everything about that movie fucking sucks. Now, the worst superhero movie ever is Halle Berry. And see, there's another one. Catwoman. Catwoman might be on that list, because I did watch Catwoman once. Never again. Halle Berry. Perfect. Love Halle Berry. That movie? No. Andrew says, I think I'm in an episode. We'll see what if when Tony throws the missile into space during 2012 Battle of New York. If Avengers 1 and lands on Sokar with Grandmaster instead of Hulk. I don't know. Oh, I think in an episode we will see what if when Tony throws the missile into space during the Battle of New York, okay, in Avengers 1, which, yeah, he lands on Sokar with Grandmaster instead of Hope. I don't know what you're. I can't. I'm trying to remember what Sokar is, and basically he didn't come back. I mean, that could be a thing. I mean, if he didn't, what if he took it over? Hell, what if the missile? He didn't save New York with the missile. What if the missile blew up and killed everybody in New York? There you go. There's a what if episode. Andrew, that's when Tony fights Gamora with Thanos somewhere. I don't remember that. I don't remember seeing anything on that or anything. So, Ryan says, how the hell that cop didn't know Halle Berry wasn't normal when she was jumping off walls best where he's the dumb cop of all time. Dude, I don't remember that movie for shit. I don't remember nothing of that movie except for her in that damn outfit. That is it. There was nothing about that movie that was memorable to me. Andrew says Thor Ragnarok. Jeff Goldblum was Grandmaster's champion. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. I got you. What you're saying now. Ryan says, hey man, I'm gonna call it a night. All right, man. You take it easy, Ryan. Have a good night, man. Peace. Andrew says Hulk was Grandmaster's champion. Oh, so instead it was Iron Man instead. But the thing was, it had nothing to do with. It never actually explained how Hulk got there. You know, how the Quinjet got there from Avengers 2. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a guilty pleasure, but Blade Trinity, yeah. Blade Trinity was bad too. It was bad too. It had a lot of bad moments as well. But I mean, Blade's Blade. All right, guys. So I am going to call it a night. I do appreciate all you guys who came in and chatted with me, Ryan, Supra, Ryan, Supra, and Andrew. You guys are awesome. Keeping chat going. I very much appreciate you guys. If you have, if you're not subscribed by me, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. After this video is been posted, definitely leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Ryan, you are now the MVP of the night, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Cool party. Very much appreciate you, sir. Very much. And until next time, guys, that has been an episode of Movie Buzzer. Peace out.